people. What does the panel think about a West Point alumni group canceling an award it was planning to give to Tom Hanks? Oh, yes, I have all this information on this. An actor that Trump has called woke and destructive. Yes. Well, let me read you. I actually have the, they were going to give Tom Hanks an award from West Point, the Sylvanus Thayer Award. It said, Tom Hanks has done more for the positive portrayal of the American service member, blah, 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 which is so true. I mean, when you think about, I mean, my favorite movie of all time is Saving Private Ryan. All time. But I mean, he's played, you know, from the Earth to the moon. I mean...
Greyhound.
Whoa. Right out of the gate, they dropped the Tom Hanks thing, and you can feel the room tilt. West Point canceling an award. Huh? And then everyone starts trying to square Hanks as patriot with Hanks as politically not on your team. Wow. Listen to Ben leaning into the Saving Private Ryan card like it's immune to politics. And Tim gently reminding us Hanks did real veteran work off-screen too, which, honestly, lands. Hold on, can you believe an institution-linked award would be yanked and spark this much finger-pointing? What would you do if your alma mater reversed a tribute because of perceived politics? This moment is great TV because it's short, punchy, and it exposes the unspoken rule. Cultural honors are now political objects. It's also a little scary. Why does honoring service get tangled up in partisan scorekeeping? The exchange sets up the rest of the show. Comedians, journalists, and politicos all trying to make sense of a culture where praise can be treated like a provocation. And yes, give the actor credit for the films, but also, wow, why are we doing this?
I said this, I didn't like it when Tom Hanks went on Saturday Night Live and did a sketch where he was wearing a MAGA hat and wouldn't shake hands with a black person. Not helpful.
I disagree. I thought it was a great sketch because it was a continuation of the earlier sketch where he's Doug.
But you think that's a fair portrayal of MAGA? I mean...
No, that's not what the point was, though, Bill. The point was that that sketch was meant to show that Doug, in the continuation of the original sketch, that Doug on Jeopardy, as a working-class, rural, white guy with his MAGA cap on, actually had a tremendous amount in common with the black panelists that he was competing against. And that was the entire idea of the skit, was that actually whatever...
But why would he not shake hands?
Right, that's the moment that Bill's objecting to.
No, I understand, but well, it's Saturday Night Live. I mean, I don't know that we should overthink it necessarily.
This SNL sketch debate turns tiny and specific, but it says a lot. One host calls the sketch not helpful, another calls it a clever continuation, and the audience laughs like it's a shared secret. Pause. The bit about the MAGA hat and the refusal to shake hands? That's the flashpoint. Is it satire that opens a door to empathy, or an insult that cements division? Wow, talk about loaded symbolism. You can hear everybody calibrating. It's satire. No, it's harmful. Don't overthink it. Can you believe how fast the conversation swings from comedy to culture war verdict? This clip works because it shows how even jokes are read as evidence now. Evidence of who you are, what you believe, and whether you're allowed in public life. What would you have thought watching that sketch for the first time?
About 9/11,
the host's back and forth here feels human. Annoyed, amused, defensive, curious. It's the exact blend that keeps viewers leaning in.
It's not really a big deal to them, but it was a big deal for the country. We're almost a quarter century out from there. You mentioned it during the show, like we didn't handle it right going into Iraq. I mean, that's my view. Some people maybe think we did, and maybe in the future there'll be revisionist things. And oh boy, we missed it at the time. What a great idea that was. I don't think so. But I mean, Afghanistan is well on its way to being in the 9th century. So there's $2 trillion well spent. I mean, what lessons do we have from a quarter century away?
Okay, this pivot to 9/11 is the voice dropping deeper. We're almost a quarter century out, and suddenly the chat goes from zingers to something weighty. Ben's point, that projecting our values onto other countries was a fatal misread, lands like a punch. Whoa, right? He says we assumed others wanted democracy the way we do, and that shaped wars, policy, and a lot of wasted money and lives. Can you believe we still argue about whether that assumption was ever valid? The visceral moment here is the tiny coldness when he says $2 trillion well spent. There's a jab in that line, and you feel the room react. This clip matters because it reframes the cultural squabbles as consequences. bad assumptions lead to bad policy, and bad policy erodes trust in government, media, and institutions. What lesson would you take from that? It's a clip that turns the show into a mini lecture about humility in foreign policy, and you can almost see the audience doing the mental math with him.
Okay, Ben, is Trump a scavenger or a lion? This is your book. Well, first, explain basically what you're saying when you're talking about we're divided into scavengers and lions.
So this is not a left-right thing, and one of the things I really tried to do in the book is not use the words right or left, because I don't actually think that the division between lions and scavengers is predominantly political. I think that lions are people...
Lions are the good guys, right?
Yes. Lions are the people who want to build, and scavengers are the people who want to tear down, who see the institutions of society as things that need to be predominantly removed. They're threats to them. They are violent. Luigi Mangione is a good example of somebody who's a scavenger. And again, I don't think that it's predominantly about politics. I even think that we all inside of us have both those tendencies, right? Sometimes you get up in the morning, you're ready to tackle the day and be productive and do something good. And sometimes you're just bitching about the world and you want to tear things down. And so when I look at political figures, I try to say, are they more of one than the other? And usually it's a combination. So I see aspects that...
Is Trump a scavenger or a lion? Boom. That question is bait, and the panel bites. Ben's lions versus scavengers frame is such a tidy, dramatic hook. Lions build, scavengers tear down. And hey, it's not left versus right, it's character. Wow, you can feel the schematics of thought clicking into place. He calls Trump heterodox, but responsive, which is a fancy way of saying he tries stuff, flips when it fails, and keeps moving. And the crowd eats it up with laughter and applause. Wait, did you catch the joke about the mane? That one lands like a wink, and the audience loves it. This segment is shiny because it packages a big political personality into a mythic image, predator or parasite. It's simple, dramatic, and shareable, the exact kind of framing that spreads on social feeds. So, what do you think? Lion, scavenger, or something Messier? That's the tiny poll the audience gets roped into answering.
What does... Kamala Harris, boy, she does not have a lot of luck. Like this week, her book comes out. She was trying to do the press, and then, of course, all this news buried it. The book is called 107 Days. Wink, wink. That's all. It's all the time I had to win, just 107 days.
Only there were 108.
Yeah.
Would have gotten there.
And she only had $1.5 billion. I don't know how she could have gotten to get a message out. But what does the panel think of Kamala Harris's admission that it was reckless to let Joe and Jill Biden decide on his re-election bid? Yes, this is the big takeaway from the book, is that she says, Joe, we kept saying, she says like a mantra, it's their personal decision. And now she's saying after the fact, well, actually it wasn't really just a personal decision. It did have some effect on the country.
What if there was an amendment to the Constitution, say like the 25th Amendment, that allowed the Vice President of the United States...
This Kamala Harris bit is pure reactive gold. The hosts riff on her 107 days quip, then slide into the nastier point. Was it reckless to let Biden and Jill decide his re-election? Hold up, now we're asking about duty, ethics, and responsibility at the highest level. Ben and Bill pressed the real question. If the VP felt the president was incapacitated, did she have an obligation to act? That's not just chatter. It's a constitutional level nudge toward the 25th Amendment process, where the VP and a majority of cabinet can declare the president unable to discharge duties and make the VP acting president. Wow, that's heavy. Can you imagine that conversation happening behind closed doors? What would you do if you were in that office? The tone here mixes incredulity with accountability. It's entertaining, but it also forces viewers to think about checks, courage, and political theater versus real constitutional duty.